Yeah, seriously though, Curtis, they do have an ointment for that.
Don't call me paranoid. I keep the demons from your soul.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Bootleg Mercy podcast, episode 1 of Rough Cuts. I apparently am your host, Eric. I'm the drummer of the band.
Boo.
Yeah, let's go ahead and meet everybody real quick and get familiar. To my right,
Hey, my name's Rich Thompson. I'm the lead singer and frontman of Bootleg Mercy.
Hey man, no last names, man. We're into script.
yeah, yeah,
Incognito. They're gonna find you. The fans will find you.
that's right.
It's Ricardo.
Yeah.
I'm Curtis. I'm the guitar player.
I'm Jeff. I'm the bass player.
That was great input, Jeff. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we got to
Yeah.
thinking we need to do a podcast. Everybody else does, so we need to also give the fans what they want, give them a little insight to Bootleg Mercy, who we are, why we are, where we are, all those sorts of things. We are a 4-piece rock band from the middle of Kansas. We've been doing this for a full decade now, playing all sorts of originals, covers, all rock music, having a great time. We've got a couple, thank you.
I feel
We've
it.
got a couple new guys in the band that weren't there originally, but we got now, thank goodness. We need them.
Yeah, especially for their vehicles and they're good, strong, sturdy backs.
Well, we can't rule out Curtis's ability to get gigs and get us on radio stations in foreign countries and do all
Well,
the things.
and Jeff for the eye candy. So
Is there a different Jeff that you're talking about?
yes, the roadie Jeff. You know the blonde head guy. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd like to meet that guy someday.
yeah. So let's meet the band a little bit here. We'll start with Rich. Make an example out of him. I guess what would be good to talk about right now is just kind of give just a quick little background on who you are, why you play the music you play, that sort of thing. What's to your creative process?
Well, I'm Titch Rompson. Been playing lots of gigs here with these fellas and doing lots of music stuff, and that's my story.
That's really what I expected from you. Hey, Curtis, what do you got, buddy?
well, let's see. I've been playing a long time. Played in a bunch of bands. I've played everything from oldies, 50s, and 60s music to cumbia music to 80s hair metal to 90s cover, 80s classic metal. I've kind of done everything. So had a couple of original projects, and this one probably being the most exciting. So
I don't believe you for a second.
I mean, he looked us straight in the eye when he said it.
He did. He looked us straight in the computer camera eye. I believe him.
I think we got it on record too.
Yeah, we do. It's recording. Jeff, what's your story?
Well, I've been playing for a little over a year. I don't know exactly how many years over a year, but a little over a year. And I like rock and metal and smooth jazz and just whatever puts me to sleep when I'm not playing, and sometimes when I am playing. So that's about it.
We can attest to that. Yeah.
This works really well, by the way.
Yeah.
For like,
Hey, don't spoil the upcoming segment.
oh, you didn't see that.
Yeah. I'm Eric. I'm the drummer. I've been a rock drummer forever. I've played metal. I've played blues. I've played country. I've played Bootleg Mercy, which should be its own genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixed match of 90s Rich and guitar crazy Curtis. I actually showed my dad the new songs today. Spoiler alert, there's new songs, and he got quite a kick out of them. He was a big fan of the first one. and then he stopped paying attention as much. But he did say they were all good, so that was good. Good news. Speaking of which, so Curtis, why don't you address what we got going on? What's Bootleg Mercy up to?
Well, we've got an EP coming out. We are going to be releasing that instead of all in one unit. We're going to be releasing those as individual songs. And our first one comes out on February 14th. It's a song called Lift and Divide, which I'll kind of leave that to Rich to talk a little bit about that. But a couple of things you can check out if you want a sneak peek of that. There's a station called Indie Star Radio. And this Thursday, they're going to be doing various segments where they interviewed us, as boring as that is. But in between those snooze fest conversations, they're going to play each one of those songs for the first time ever. They'll be available for you to listen to. So if you jump on Indie Star Radio, it's a radio segment called the Jukebox, and they basically play interviews with bands. And in this particular episode, they are releasing our music for us, letting people hear them in an advance order, because Lift and Divide you won't be able to listen to, stream, purchase, or anything else until Valentine's Day, February 14th. And then you're not going to be able to get the next track until about 2 weeks after that, and the next track about 2 weeks after that, and so on. So if you want to hear them now, you got to catch that show on Thursday.
Now, did we do that because we're going to make a lot more money releasing them one at a time?
Yes, millions.
Oh, interesting. I actually think it's a good strategy when you release a CD that's not a full-length album. So, well, I think if we just keep releasing individual songs for a while, eventually we can have a greatest hits album without ever releasing a real album.
There you go.
I'm fine with it.
Well, the problem with that, you guys know, so we're talking to the two people that are going to actually watch this. I mean, the issue becomes if you release it as a full album, people are going to listen through it anyway off of iTunes or whatever, and they're going to pick the one or two songs that strike them right away, and then they'll never revisit the others. And so by releasing them as singles, there's an opportunity for people to actually listen to each song for its value of what it is, and perhaps it'll get their attention and they'll sign on. So
I agree. I think one of the things about it by releasing it like this is, how many times in your life have you bought an album, a CD, a record, whatever, and you bought it for the song you heard on the radio, and then you listen to it. Maybe you didn't listen to the whole album. Some people are like that. I'm an album listener. But how many songs could be missed because you never gave the whole album a chance? So, yeah, I think by doing this one at a time, it kind of makes everybody hear each song. And if they don't like a song, they don't have to keep listening to it, but at least they're going to hear it.
I like forcing people to do things too. So
yeah. So anyway, Jeff, do you want to talk about any of that recording process or anything? Or do you just want me to cut straight to the next segment?
The recording process actually was kind of fun, I thought. Being able to, I think Curtis mentioned it earlier. I mean, when you went to Eric, when you were playing to that click, and then we started realizing everything that was coming to fruition, and then each of us doing our individual parts, it really was a fun process, and it was a great relaxed atmosphere. And I think actually all the songs, honestly, that helped with how the songs sounded, because we were all so, at least to me, speaking for myself, it felt comfortable, and we could just kind of be ourselves in the studio and not feel that uptight, tense feeling that sometimes you get in that position. And so we're just being ourselves, and it's like we're sitting jamming at home.
Well, if I remember right, didn't you record all of your tracks sitting on a love seat or couch or something like that? Maybe an oversized chair?
Yeah, and it was pretty comfortable. You can probably notice that within some of my playing, how comfortable it was, but it is what it is.
At least you weren't in a glass box having these other turds make faces at you and flip you off the whole time you were playing. So that was a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you weren't really paying attention anyways, because, you were doing your thing. So.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know is why nobody talks about that pizza we got.
Oh, yeah.
That is great podcast fodder right there. What was that place called?
I have no clue.
Some kind of pizza place. That was the biggest.
It
Downtown?
was, yeah, it was like a massive, I don't know,
Big as a
36-inch round pizza.
Rich's ego. It was huge.
I don't know. I mean,
Wasn't that big?
It was as big as Curtis's bicep.
I've seen big.
I know it came from the Delano district there in Wichita. I can't remember the name of
what it
the
was
place.
called, but it was.
there was a wicked game of pinball going on. while
Oh,
we're
we
waiting.
played pinball while
Yeah.
we're waiting.
Yeah.
That is an interesting point, though, is that, we recorded this at Magnitude Creative, which, if I'm not mistaken, we might have been one of the last bands to actually record in that studio before he relocated it.
Definitely.
So yeah, this album's going to be like one of the last recorded at the Magnitude Creative, the old spot. So yeah,
We are the band who took him off the map.
there you go. And and that probably speaks to the comfort level we all had, because I mean, Jason's got a pretty good he can kind of make you feel like it's no big deal. It kind of helps kind of calm your nerves a little bit when you start kind of getting in your own head with your parts. So
Well, at least we're
That,
still talking.
that dang narcolepsy gets you every time.
We lost you for a minute there, Curtis.
oh yeah.
Hey, speaking of Wichita and recording, we've played quite a few shows down there. What's one of your more favorite places we played down there, Curtis?
I don't know. I mean, the new stadium used to be a great spot to play before they shut that down.
That was fun as long as Gus wasn't too drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
Combative.
I mean, Jerry's is a pretty happening spot too right now. So
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of Jerry's, don't we play there again?
yep, we got a show coming up at Jerry's in April.
What do we have in February?
We got February 11th. We are opening for that Arena Rock show at the Temple Live in Wichita in Old Town.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
We've been moving tickets. If you don't have tickets, it's your fault. Get a hold of us.
I went through quite a few the other day. I gave a buddy in Wichita a whole stack. He had a whole bunch of people lined up, and so that'll be a pretty good crowd down there for sure.
Do I need a ticket to be?
No, you're in the band, Rich. You have to have your laminated press pass though, the backstage pass.
Yes.
How do you get that? What do you got to do?
You gotta confront the guitar player in the back alley.
Mhm. Mm-hmm. You got to earn a sticker.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to wear protection. I guess. So.
Oh,
Face protection, guys.
oh,
Come on.
COVID. That's right.
Mouth
Wear your
guard.
Yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
Video. We got a lyric video coming out.
Yeah, there's a really awesome kid by the name of Matthew Austin that did our Trees Are Listening video.
I think he's older than us. He's older than me. Yeah,
Can't be older than me.
Oh, he's older than me.
Well,
Anyway.
so
Down in Cherryville, Kansas.
Cherryville, Kansas, yeah, and he's done up a pretty sweet, killer looking lyric video for that upcoming song, Lift and Divide.
Well, he also shot the music video for Trees Are Listening. If you've seen that one, with that kid wandering around, that's actually his son in that video. Pretty cool video he shot and lyric video. It's really neat. This guy does some awesome work, and he's got a band, Edge Over Edge. So check them out. They're really good. And they have the best visuals in the business because of him and his wife, Brooke. They're fantastic.
Yeah, two really good, two awesome people.
And they do a podcast too. We should try to get on their podcast and try to get them on our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to steal their
what?
followers.
You don't have them very often, but that was a pretty good idea.
Well, I've been saving that all day.
He woke up with it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it until I had on video.
So people were gripped by the action of the podcast, right? And then you could come in and just wham them over the head with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now they're addicted. They know they've got to come back for those jewels of wisdom that Eric might have. Might.
Right. Hey, they pop up here and there. Well, I guess we can go ahead and make the podcast actually interesting for people, and we can go ahead and play What Are You Drinking? This is no way an endorsement of alcoholism, and we're not a bunch of heavy drinkers. However, we've thought if we're going to be on this show, we might as well have something to sip on, have a nice little beverage. I think let's start with Jeff. He's been itching to show off his little bottle.
Well, this one's been sitting in my freezer for about a week, and I figure I'd give it a shot. The old smoky moonshine. This is something called Hunch Punch. So Old Smoky, Bootleg Mercy. Wow, let's think about that.
That's got like frost all over it. That's ice cold.
Yeah, see that? Can you see the frost on it? I mean, that.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that, guys.
Does it have any fruit in it or anything, or is it just a liquid?
No, they do have the cherry stuff, that has the maraschino cherries in it, but this is just good old down home punch stuff.
I've got the apple pie in the house. I could have brought that one out if I would have known that's what you were bringing.
I have some of that too.
I did make a pickle juice version of it now too.
I don't know about that.
I
I don't know about that. I don't like pickles anyways, but that would push it over the edge, I think, a little bit.
I think you like that pickle tickle. Hey, does that censored out,
Yeah,
Curtis?
that's got to get censored out. Yeah. Way to go, Eric.
I think Curtis' screen froze again, so we can get away with it.
No, he's
Yeah,
Nar-
all right.
Narcolepsy again, just
Yeah.
keep coming back.
Yeah. Long afternoon,
Hey Curtis, we're gonna play a double game with you. Let's go ahead and do what are you drinking? Let's do that first.
All right. I'm drinking the tears of the Kansas City Chiefs fans. I'm having I'm just
Too soon. Too soon.
hey, I can't say too much. Look at my glass. I'm a Cowboys fan. There's my tears in there too. So just have an iced tea, man.
Oh, iced tea?
Yep.
All right.
I'm
That's
pedestrian.
correct. So the other game I wanted to play with you is let's talk about them guitars hanging up behind you.
Okay.
Pick one this episode and talk about it, and then we'll play that game for 6 weeks, and then we'll have to find a new game.
Then I'll rotate different guitars up there. We can keep going. So if you'll notice the acoustic directly behind me,
Yep.
and the electric guitar down here,
Yep.
You'll notice the design is similar. This here is my Warren D. Martini signature Bomber. It's a Charville custom shop guitar. This, my aunt, who does stained glass, made that for me as a replica to the electric a few years ago. So it's kind of a cool, it lights up, it's got rope lights, and it's pretty slick. So pretty cool.
But how does it sound?
It does, it's not a player. It's pretty.
All right. So now we'll move on to Rich. Rich, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Weller's Reserve Old Fashioned with this crazy, like, snowball in it.
It's a spherical ice ball.
It's like somebody like packed snow into a snowball, like put it in their fridge or their freezer in order to make it last. And now it's in my cup and it's slowly dissolving and will no longer be.
This is riveting radio.
It is.
So follow up to that, I'm drinking the same thing. And the reason I'm drinking the same thing, because Rich comes into my garage. This is my garage, everybody. He comes in, sets his glass down, an empty glass, and says, "What kind of whiskey do you have?" El King of the Mooch had to, and he just helped himself to make a drink, and I had to go in and get ice for him. But yeah, I've got a fully stocked bar here, so we always have something.
I do it for you, buddy.
There's a lot of dust on those bottles, so don't get the wrong idea about me.
So that could be a song.
I think it is a song. Country, wasn't it?
Country song.
Does that even count as music? Speaking of country song, did you guys see the halftime of the Chiefs game yesterday when they had that obnoxious sound blaring through right into the backs of the announcers?
The line arrays just sitting like
Oh.
10 feet behind them,
That was
blaring that.
hilarious. Hilarious.
That was a major oversight, and it was also an oversight to allow that guy to be there to perform because that music was terrible. Can we talk about pop country and how bad it is, or should we stay away from that?
That's a whole episode by itself, I think.
Yeah, I think as we learn what we're doing here, we start to pick some topics and we just talk about them for a little bit, and maybe we won't look like a bunch of awkward turds,
Hey, so Eric, past couple of years, have you felt like there's been like something kind of, you know, dividing people? Maybe like maybe possibly there's some sort of power that might be
Yeah, that's
pulling people apart. Maybe.
that's when Curtis joined the band. Zing. Got him. Yeah, that's a great setup, Rich. You know, we do have a song coming out in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks, or no, 2 weeks from today that I wrote about. It's called "Lift and Divide." I wrote it on my acoustic guitar, and then I scribbled down some words as they came to me.
Uh-huh.
It's about.
What were you feeling at the time when you wrote that song?
Well, listen, I was doing laundry. I was sorting my laundry, and I had a pile of like blue jeans, and I had a pile of white t-shirts. And I know that if you wash those two together, you're going to have a problem. You're going to dingy up your white t-shirts. So I picked them up individually, kind of in a lifting motion, and I divided them apart like a separation.
Yeah.
So that I could wash my laundry, and then I put a song together about it. And what's really funny is it kind of mirrors the times we're going through right now. So people aren't even going to realize it's about me doing laundry. They're going to think it's a serious song, but it's not. It's a laundry song sponsored by Tide.
Huh. Very good. I'm so glad you wrote that song.
Yeah, I did great on it.
Mhm.
It's some of my best work.
For some reason, I was thinking it was about when your wife took away your man card. Like she lifted your wallet out of your pocket and took the money all out of it, and
Talking to Rich now.
by the way, your man card was in there too, and so she divided you away from that, and now you're just a slave to the. Or sorry, I won't use slave. I know I don't want to trigger anybody.
Oh, canceled. Canceled, Jeff.
Canceled.
Anyways, now you're what's a good word for it?
Good luck. If we're trying to keep this
Your husband.
finding a good word. Old Curtis over here, old language police, says keep it clean.
I'm so glad that you guys could be super serious about that, and thank you guys for your input on that song.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you ever want seriousness, don't ask me. Learn that lesson. Do you want to talk about that song?
Well, I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
isn't that what we were trying to do with these kind of things? Right?
Nope,
We talk,
no,
talk
we're
about
just having
talk
fun.
about our songs a little bit. Maybe talk about.
No, they're going to hear the song and they're going to like it. But you can talk about it if you want.
Well, totally my whole
I did. I destroyed your
Thing, yeah.
setup.
I guess now it's always going to be thought of as a Tide commercial. So
I bet all three people that hear this, hi mom, will understand that it's not about a Tide commercial.
or they're going to think that it'd be better as a Tide commercial.
Speaking of sponsorships, this episode is sponsored by Shure microphones. I say that because I'm trying to get a discount on those in-ears. And so maybe if I say we're sponsored by Shure and they get a huge uptick in sales because of this podcast, they'll give us some free gear.
I mean, if I heard you talking, I'd be like, you know what? Sure microphones, sure in-ears,
Sure sound great.
sure sound great.
Oh, I need my bell to go
Ding. Ding.
Yeah.
Or maybe maybe you'll have a mute pedal company
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and then pick you up, sponsorship there. And even though I guess they don't really work on drums, but that's why you don't have a vocal microphone.
We can only
No.
we still. I mean, we can dream, right? We can dream.
Listen, I'm getting dangerously close to being irresponsible enough to buy that really nice electric kit I've had my eyes on. I mean, if I brought that to a gig, you could mute it real easily. Jeff, what were you watching on the background there? I see your Roku thing bouncing around. What were you watching?
Actually, I just leave that there because it every now and then distracts me from what I'm doing, and then I can get a new brainwave come in.
Squirrel.
No, actually, that's actually where I watched the Bengals
Oh,
win the AFC championship.
Now I know you're kidding because you were all over the internet saying that you didn't even watch the games.
you
So-
did.
You're
say-
right. You're right.
I can add screenshot.
I did. I didn't watch the game. I had other stuff going on, and that's probably, it's probably my fault because if I would have watched the game, then I would have been mad because the Chiefs won, and I would have had to hear all the ruckus Chiefs fans for another week until they lost the Super Bowl. And then,
Oh, let's do this too. Then is the NFL rigged? Did Mahomes mess that up on purpose? I've seen the videos circulating.
no, I saw a meme that said that I think explains it, and that said that Mahomes just went into potato mode. At that point.
Really did.
I did watch the playback, and it just happened. I mean, it was luck of the draw thing. I mean, there's trying to make a play, and it is what it is.
Curtis, you're the NFL expert here. What's your take?
Yeah, they just played like the Chiefs. I mean, they've been kind of hot and cold. No, they have been. They've been hot and cold all year. I mean, they'll come out one week and just lay an egg, and they'll come out the next week and be on fire. And unfortunately, they did both in one game, and it just hurt them. I mean, they should have been pulling that game out, and they ended the first half on a horrible decision. You always take the points. Always take the points.
You don't think rigged NFL though? You don't think there's any merit to that? Games have all ended phenomenally, almost like they've been scripted.
Yeah. Nah, I don't believe in that.
Oh, I don't either. I'm just trying to stoke conversation here, but I don't think it's scripted.
Well, one thing I did notice watching some of the playback is that you've seen it a million times. Mahomes running around trying to extend plays and do all that, but he just held on to the ball too long most of the time, and Bengals got to him in the second half. I mean, that's just how it was.
For some reason, he seems to be doing this thing now where he turns these little quick circles and tries to just keep running backwards. He does a Tyreek Hill and just keeps running backwards. He never used to do that. I don't understand where that came from, but it's not working for him.
See, I think Tyreek Hill got hurt. They're not talking about that. I think he got hurt. Because there were several shots of him on the sidelines. I think he got dinged in that game, and one of the main weapons for Holmes was him. So anyway.
Well, you look at the way they started with McKinnon, they were picking up all sorts of yards with him, and then they completely got away from using him. That's what really confused me. They just got away from everything that worked,
I feel like if Mahomes would have, instead of running around in circles in the backfield, would have just instead ran it up the field, I think that would have opened more things up for him later. But I think he is really trying, to the point of being super stubborn about it.
Right.
Wants to stay back there and make the pass. He wants to complete something. But
I will say this, and you never want to say officials cost you a game or anything like that, but I will say that being an offensive line coach, there were so many holding calls on the Bengals that were not being called in that first half. It was maddening. I mean, I got to a place where I couldn't even watch it because, I mean, defensively, every time one of the D linemen got upfield for the Chiefs, they were getting mugged, they were getting tackled. It just wasn't getting called, and that really frustrates me when I see that.
I think they wanted to be. They heard the noise from the last game, the Chiefs and the Bills, where there weren't any calls made or anything like that, and it was just such a tremendous game that they just didn't want to be.
Well, you never want the refs to decide the outcome of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, they're there for a reason.
But you got to set that precedence early. You can't not call obvious stuff like holding at the point of attack. When you don't call that, anyway.
Yeah,
this isn't sports talk.
No, but I think what this needs to be going forward is just kind of an insight to who we are and what we're about. Because I mean, when you see these bands and they're all mysterious and all that, it's just kind of, to me personally, that's always been kind of boring because it's like, oh, are these not even real people? I almost feel like with a band like us trying to do this kind of, grassroots, it might even be good to let people know who we are. Let them, if they like us, they might like our music even more because of that.
Yeah. Jeff, why don't you talk about your Satanism and, why you're so into Satan?
Yeah.
Well, it started when I was a little kid.
Hey, why don't you talk about that Uncle Al shirt you got?
There was this portal, and for some reason I was drawn to it because the light that was coming out of it, and next thing you know, I'm just waking up and I'm in Bootleg Mercy.
Yeah. I have a similar story, but that light was the refrigerator light.
No, this is Uncle Al went to kind of before COVID hit. It was Slayer's last tour, and they were playing in Nebraska, and me and some friends went up to that, and it was awesome. I mean, I'd never seen Ministry, and if you know who Al Jorgensen is, I mean, he is Ministry, and man, it just pounded you the whole time they were up there, and I was like very impressed. I'd never seen Ministry. I've listened to a lot of their music, but seeing them live was a whole different experience. But it was great. I mean, got to see Slayer, got to see Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, which they played all Pantera songs during their set, and it was just a great concert. Stayed in an Airbnb up there, and hopefully there wasn't any cameras running. You know, that is what it is too. I mean, once you get out on the internet, it's there. I mean, there's no taking it away. So I've heard stories about the Airbnbs, you know, but I didn't see any cameras, but that's kind of the whole point. You don't see the camera.
Well, 'cause then you're just acting for them. They want to catch you in your natural state.
You do get to see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I've got them actually. Downloaded them on LimeWire.
Oh,
LimeWire.
wow. You just dated yourself with that one.
Well, actually, I used Grokster. That was my favorite one. I'm not going to go into details.
Dark web. Eric's one of the dark web guys.
That's for the next podcast. Anybody got anything else to add to this? I mean, this is probably going to be #1 podcast on YouTube. You think, or you think we have?
It'll go viral for sure.
I think we need to talk about your roller grill next time. Why you got a roller grill?
Does this really count as a podcast, or is it more of a vodcast since it's video?
Well, now you're getting technical.
Yes.
I mean, all the podcasts I listen to all have a video component to them. Everybody's doing it now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we can put this on. So obviously, it's going to go to YouTube, but we can obviously do the audio and start doing it on, like, you know, the podcast app or some of those different places. We can do that too if we want.
Yeah.
I figure the more bootleg content out there to hit the algorithms, the better. It can only help, right? Even if no one's listening.
We probably need to work on our scripting a little bit to make it a little more interesting.
What are you talking about?
Just saying, I don't know. You know,
I thought that flowed like pancake syrup.
would someone be like needing to go in the house but sitting in the car for 10 more minutes to catch the very end of this conversation? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Yeah, because they're wondering if it's ever going to get good. Hey, listen, this is why we're doing this, is because we've got to learn how to do this. And the only way we can learn how to do it is by doing it.
Just do it. Just do it.
You know, I'm almost saying, you know, if we want to get together the same time every week, you guys are down with that, I think that would be fine. And we'd, you know, a couple months, we might be good at this.
I think we should put this on the Facebook Reels, you know, just to, have you ever seen those videos where somebody's doing something and you're sitting there waiting for like something interesting to happen and it never does?
Yep. Yeah, I've wasted a lot of time.
And it says wait for it at the top, so you're like waiting.
Exactly.
No, I think, we're just going to keep playing with this. If anybody's still watching, it's going to get better, I promise. Anybody else got
you guys in Tennessee, if you're watching sponsorship, we're all about that for Old Smoky.
Sponsorship.
What's cool to me?
Have you-
Cool.
It's cold.
I can't hear you. What's cool? They're cool.
I'm cold.
All right.
I don't know if that needs to go on the podcast. All right, fellas, what do you think? Wrap it up. See
Yep.
y'all later.
Yep.
All right, hit that stop button.
All right.
Or the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Oh,
Later.
like, subscribe, comment, like, feed the algorithm.
Don't call